Hey guys, welcome to another educational piece for Embers and Insights. I'm Chris,
And now Bobby.
and today we're going to go over a little bit of the Oliva Cigar family brand. These videos are really geared towards beginner cigar smokers, but I think it's always nice to just kind of re-educate this cigar consumer, whether they're seasoned or aficionado. We're going to go over the history of Oliva and I think, like 4 or 5 cigars that we would recommend for beginners.
Yeah.
To start off with,
Oliva has a vast portfolio, but I think these 5 that we picked out are probably the best for beginners to try out.
So, Melanio Oliva, founder of Oliva Cigars, if I'm not mistaken, started growing tobacco as far back as what does it say? The 1880s.
Yep.
In Cuba, and then obviously when the embargo happened, the Oliva family left Cuba and went to Nicaragua.
Yes.
Right. Oliva has, man, I don't know. I feel like every one of their lines is just a premium. You see an Oliva in every top 25, whether it's the Melanio, you're smoking the Melanio,
Yep.
I'm smoking the Oliva Serio, named after, I'm assuming the Serio is Serio Oliva, I'm assuming, right? Melanio is named after the founder.
Melanio Oliva.
Yep. But they have Serie G, Serie O, Serie V. They have
Connecticut Reserve.
Connecticut
We got
Reserve.
the
The Master Blend. Yeah.
Master Blends, the Gilberto Oliva.
Yeah. Named after all members of the family who created the cigars,
Yes.
right? So they have a wide variety of cigars. And in these wide variety of cigars have a lot of different sizes, shapes that are really good for a beginner cigar smoker or a seasoned cigar smoker.
Yeah, I don't think I've had an Oliva that I did not like. I mean, I think as big of a company as they are, they still take pride in making the best cigars, whether it's their core lines or if it's limited editions that they do make or their higher end ones like the Melanio that I got going here. But overall, I think that they're great for beginners. They're great for aficionados, but it's a nice cigar to take that step into Oliva, into big brands, necessarily.
Well, that's a perfect explanation.
Yeah.
I think there's like I said, there's something for everybody, and I think they pair, like each Oliva line pairs extremely well with like non-alcoholic and alcoholic beverages. It pairs well with like steak and egg breakfast,
Oh yeah.
right? It pairs well with a mojito, with margarita, whiskey, beer. It's
Nice
just
Cuban coffee.
yeah, oh, man, yeah. it's I think the more variety you have under one cigar brand, I think it allows you to really understand cigars more, enjoy it. They haven't come out with anything like new, right?
Just kind of like, they have some, I don't want to say one-offs, but like limited editions.
Yes.
They have like the Roaring 20s one that they kind of were celebrating that. And then they do just different types of limited editions that, you see released at PCA shows.
They do the nub, right?
They also make nub cigars. Yes.
Yes. Nub is funny to me because, yeah, it's like, I think it's such a small and fat cigar. It looks like a nub, like a nubbed finger.
Yeah, literally. It looks like a big thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are not for beginners, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would say, maybe the Habano line, maybe, but
just the
they
size
pack a
of them,
punch.
yeah, they look like bullets.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's like, if you're a new cigar smoker, that's a lot of tobacco in such a small amount of in a small shape. It's probably like this big.
Yeah, most of them are like 4x60s.
Right, it's like that big.
Yeah,
it's a fat sucker. Mm-hmm. If you're not used to smoking cigars, that will hit you.
Oh yeah.
So like I said, they have a lot of. I like the Oliva. Is it the Cane Daytona?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. So out of all of the cigars under the Oliva line, in your opinion, which one would you say either you gravitate towards the most or is the best, considered the best, quote unquote?
I would say considered the best, and one that I always typically gravitate towards is probably the Serie V Milanio.
Which you're smoking.
That's
now.
what I got going right now. It's an excellent smoke. It's well rounded. I don't want to say they use more of the prime tobaccos in the cigar, but it does taste a little more elevated than their core lines.
Mm-hmm.
The Serie Gs and the Serie Os. It's arguably the best among Oliva fans as well. There is a Maduro and a regular wrapper.
Yep.
A Maduro and an original line. I tend to like the Maduro a bit more, but they have all different types of brands like we mentioned before. So even if the Milanio flavors might not be in your wheelhouse, it might be too overpowering. It may be beneficial to start with a Serie O or Serie G, but for me, I usually gravitate towards the Serie V Milanio. When I started into smoking Oliva cigars. What about for you? I know most of them are so good it's kind of hard to pick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not bailing on the answer. It's really can't disagree with you. The Oliva Serie V and Serie V Milanio are one of the two lines in Oliva that I feel like are just, like I said, you see them everywhere.
Yeah.
You go on Instagram, and you see in the cigar world, everyone's posting the Serie V. Top 5s, top 25s, best cigar for the summer, best cigar to pair with a beer. That cigar is everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It is just all over the place. For good reason, though. When I see a cigar that's on every list, I'm like, I have to try it now. You end up trying it, and you're like, damn.
Yeah.
Now I get it. Now I understand why.
It's like that Milanio Figurado. That's the one that really kind of got me stuck on the Serie V line. The Milanio Serie V Milanio line. The Serie V line itself is great as well.
Yeah.
But that one kind of got me hooked, and then I branched out to different sizes and haven't looked back since. I'll still smoke all their core lines as well, but if I got my hands on a Milanio like I do today, I will definitely be smoking that bad boy.
Yeah. So now we're going to go into some cigars. There are probably 4 or 5 of their cigars that are great for beginners. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think most of them are more on the mellow to medium side.
Yeah.
With Connecticut wrappers. But yeah, let's dive in. Was the first one the Serie V Milanio?
Yeah, the Serie V Milanio. So
Right,
we'll keep expanding on that. I think it's one of their most well-known and respected brands, just because of the story behind it, the tobaccos used. It's named after the family's patriarch Milanio Oliva, which is another a great selling point, and just a great story behind the brand itself.
You think it's too strong for a beginner?
I would say it's more on the fuller bodied side if you get yourself the Serie V Milanio Maduro. I think if you just do a regular Serie V Milanio, it may not be too overpowering for a new cigar smoker. It's a tried and true classic. I'm picking up, when I smoke, I get notes of, coffee, some toastiness.
Toasty nuts.
Easy. And there's a bit of a, like a caramel sweetness to it as well. You do get a little bit of spice on the retrohale, but typical notes that I'm picking up.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm getting.
Yeah, I would say towards when you start to become more of a seasoned cigar smoker, maybe that's something you try.
Yeah, I know.
I probably wouldn't be like the second or third cigar you try ever. It might be a little bit tough.
Yeah, because it has some, it's got some of that high priming Ligero tobacco in there, which kind of will give you a little bit of a punch. Mm-hmm. So if you're a beginner, it may not be the first one to start out with.
But in terms of a buying guide, and if it's one cigar from Oliva you're looking to get first, that's the Serie V Milanio.
Yeah, definitely try that bad boy out for sure.
The next one is the Serie V.
Yep, regular Serie V.
Which we talked about a little bit, yeah. It is because some of the Oliva cigars, they're box pressed, right?
Yes.
And this one is rolled into a Parejo, rounded cylinder shape. And it just smokes so smoothly. It has Nicaraguan binder and filler with a sun-grown Ecuadorian Habano wrapper.
Yep.
And I feel like with Ecuadorian Habano wrappers, you get that sweetness. You get a touch of that sweetness.
Definitely.
On your palate. And it would be a good exercise to get the Serie V and the Serie V Milanio together little tidbit of information here that I just recently found out. Most of the guys who do blend cigars in the factories, they light up 2 cigars at the same time, and they're smoking like one, put it down, to test the blends.
Yep.
And that's something, that's more for someone who's been smoking for a while. If it's something that really interests you in seeing what might the difference be, you can always light both of them up at the same time.
Yeah.
And just, if you have extra ones, like say you get a pack of 10 of both or a pack of 5 of both. And if you want to try that, it'd be a cool experiment to see. And I can't pick between the V and the V Milano which one I like the best.
Yeah,
they're just so damn good.
I go back and forth all the time too. I mean, sometimes I have a Series V and I'm like, damn, this is really it's smoking great. Yeah. And then, I'll be smoking those for a little bit. But like you said, if you have an option to get a 5-pack or a sampler of Oliva, definitely try to pick up a sampler that has both the V and the V Milano in it. I'm not trying to deter you from getting a box. If you were in that market, definitely grab a box. But if you're able to get them both, definitely try it out. Definitely try the Series V's out and the Series V Milano out.
What's the next cigar on our list?
So next up, we got the Oliva Series O, which Chris is smoking. Yeah.
More like inhaling.
He's been
chain smoking.
Gotta inhale to feel something, man. Yeah. But I think most of the filler is from tobaccos from the Jalapa region, Esteli, and Condega in Nicaragua. Okay. Which is
Is this a Puro?
I believe it is a Nicaraguan Puro.
It is.
Yes.
The wrapper, I would say, is more of a Maduro wrapper on this, right?
So yeah, the Series O and the Series G lines both come in a original and a Maduro line, which makes them, I think you have the Maduro going there, so it definitely adds a bit of more oomph to it with that Maduro wrapper. But again, the components on the inside stay the same. It's just a wrapper difference.
When I was first lighting this up, it tasted like beefy.
Oh, yeah?
I feel like I finally was able to understand when people say, "Oh, cigars taste beefy." I think I was able to taste. It was like walking to a meat shop,
Yeah,
a butcher shop. But it had that. It was like, it was an interesting taste at first.
Yeah, I think the original has a Habano sun-grown wrapper on it. Mm. Yeah. So that's the one that we think that you should try out is the original first before branching out to the Maduro, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you feel the same way, but
no, I would say Maduro's more for people who whose palates aren't really refined yet.
Yeah.
Wait, did that make sense?
Yeah, Jesus, I mean, it takes some time to
it takes
some time to get your palate developed.
Yes.
So like you were saying previously with the Series V and the Series V Milanos, if you have a chance to try them side by side, maybe you do get the Maduro and the original wrapper and see if that, if that sun-grown wrapper is really hitting your palate or if you're more catered to the Maduro. But definitely try out both of those lines.
Yeah.
I think that's great for beginners, as most Oliva cigars are.
And with Nicaraguan Puros, you tend to get flavor notes of zest, cocoa, leather, chocolate, coffee, cedar. All of those flavor notes, you'll get a combination of 3 or 4 of them usually with Nicaraguan Puros, and I'm getting a lot of zest and sweetness on this.
Yeah.
And then maybe the beginning of it was the charcoal, like I said, beef and the cedar. Maybe that's where I was getting
a little heavier.
Yeah, a little heavier, but this is smoothed out tremendously.
Yeah, when I've smoked Serios before, you get a little spiciness when you're retrohaling. It's something that's just a habit for me. Probably not good for your sinuses, but you get most of the flavor when you're doing that retrohale. Not recommended for beginners, but if you want to try it out, try a retrohale out.
Oh yeah,
definitely get most of the flavor. Easy.
What's the 4th cigar on our list?
So next up, we have the Oliva Series G line. Again, these come in an original line and both a Maduro as well.
The G stands for G Unit, right?
Yeah, G Unit. Something like that, right?
I was not expecting that. Something really unique about this cigar is that it has an African Cameroon wrapper. Mm-hmm. You don't see a lot of Cameroon wrappers out there anymore. And I'm not sure how much you're going to really see them moving forward. I feel like that's a very sparse and rare tobacco to utilize in cigars. Yeah. But you could tell The like with Cameroon wrappers, it's not like that color. It is like a dirtyish blonde.
Yes.
And it looks so, it smokes good too, but it just, the presentation of it is beautiful.
Yeah.
And I love the band on it. It's your kind of typical Oliva gold band, brown, red, and like gold / yellow, brown, red, and sometimes like a splash of white in there as well. Their bands I love to death. I mean, they're all kind of similar and the same, but I think they're good to distinguish.
Yeah, the Series V one looks
yeah.
a little bit more, uplifting, like a brand uplifting type of thing. But the Series, all their bands and everything is just great, wonderful.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm not trying to kiss you.
No, it's all right. I wouldn't mind.
It has a HR. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, the wrapper or the binder and filler are Nicaraguan as well.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, sun-grown.
Yeah, they use sun-grown tobaccos.
Which, that just adds to the flavor bomb that these cigars provide you.
Yeah.
This cigar, the Oliva Series G, perfect golf cigar.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect cigar. The size, they have some Robustos and Toros in there, so it's perfect to smoke during your lunch break.
Yep, they have Churchill as well.
Yeah,
so if you want to bring that to the golf course, it'll last you a couple holes.
I think the Cameroon wrapper makes it a lot smoother. I think it's not too harsh on the palate, so you'll be able to. I think if you're a true beginner, you'll be able to. I think you'll be able to smoke it and with no problem as a beginner.
Agreed.
In my opinion.
Agreed.
So,
yeah, and it's more on the medium-bodied side. I believe you said that too. So it won't. It's not gonna kill you if it's your first time smoking. You're not gonna get that nicotine sickness that occasionally happens when you're smoking. A real ass kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
then next up we have the Oliva Connecticut Reserve. So this one has Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper.
One of my favorites.
Oh yeah. It has a more of a golden tan color to it.
Yeah.
So if, we've spoken in previous episodes that you don't always judge a cigar by how dark the wrapper is, or light the wrapper is. But in this case, this one
judge away.
In this case, judge away. But it is more on the medium side. It's
mellow to medium, right?
Yeah, mellow to medium, on the mellow to medium side. So it's great for a beginner. I would say seek this one out probably first if you're new to Oliva. I'm not saying stray away from the other ones. If you can get your hands on a Series V, Series G, Series O, definitely go for those. But if you see Connecticut Reserve out there, definitely give it a try. I think it's also one of their brands that's a bit overlooked. I think Series G and Series O kind of just dominate their portfolio as well as Series V, obviously. But this is one that's a bit overlooked. I think it has, flavor notes of, a bit of caramel on there. Some coffeeness, a little bit of woodiness. Yeah. You get some, touches of sweetness on there too.
Yeah, you get that with Ecuadorian Connecticut wrappers.
Yeah.
The sweetness, the caramel. I think that just comes with it. I think that's a part of the, it's a part of the territory, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as bold and rich as some of their other blends, which makes it a good starting point. Like we said, don't stray away from the other ones, but if you get an option to try this Connecticut Reserve, definitely do that.
Nice.
Yeah. And then just, some other brands that Oliva has. They have the master blends, like we discussed before. They make nub cigars. They have the Gilberto Oliva.
Like I said, they
and
have... No,
go ahead. No, I'm just saying they have a vast portfolio. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I know we only mentioned 5 here, so there's many other cigars by Oliva to try out.
Yeah. I would say these 5 are the first 5 to really, start off with. I think every brand, I might be wrong here, but I think every brand in the cigar industry has like their core 4, core 5 cigars you start off with to kind of get introduced to their vast portfolios.
Yes.
Right? We always have like, when we're doing these videos, these cigars are good for beginners. And if you end up liking an Oliva or a Foundation and then you want to go in more in depth, like that's the purpose and that's our goal here. For you guys to try the Oliva Series Connecticut, the V, the G, the O. And then when you start going out there, then you can kind of dive into the Master Blends 3, the Daytona Cane, or the Cane Daytona.
Yep.
Like I said earlier, the nub is definitely for aficionados or people who've been smoking for a lot longer, just because of the size and the strength of that bad boy.
Yeah, some of those pack a punch for sure.
Yes, yeah,
for sure.
So, but we hope you guys found this informative. Any questions in the comments pertaining to Oliva, please drop them. We're happy to answer them.
Yeah, let us know your favorite Oliva cigars too, if you have one.
Yeah. For anyone out there who's been smoking Oliva for a while, please let us know in the comments what are some of your favorites. And yeah, we hope that this guide will help you kind of dive into this brand and see, maybe in a few weeks, months, you guys might have some in your humidor, smoke, and let us know. But thank you for watching another cigar educational piece under Embers and Insights. I'm Chris.
And I'm Bobby.
We're out.